graduate of Lawrenceville School and Princeton University, Malcom Forbes became as famous for his lifestyle as he was for his business acumen. Under his leadership, Forbes magazine grew dramatically to become one of America's most successful business magazines. All was enjoying life to the fullest. Forbes was a role model for philanthropy in his later years. Malcom Forbes was a huge business leader, quite possibly the most dominant force supporting and reporting on capitalism in the 20th century.
As America's favorite capitalist, what type of advice would you give the little guy?
If you're not out, it's too late. And if you got out at a loss, you're one of the few that took it, other than the very big fellows. There had to be a buyer for those 600 million shares yesterday and on Tuesday. If you're not out, it's too late, and stay in. You can't be wrong. And if you have money, seriously, I think you could do well to start to invest some of it.
His magazine, Forbes, became the benchmark of measuring wealth of the world and American leaders during his reign as its publisher, and continues today with features such as Forbes 400. Malcolm's father, B.C. Forbes, came over from Scotland to New York as an immigrant in 1904 after studying at the University of Dundee. After many attempts at journalism, finally in 1917 he created Forbes magazine. And in 1919, he had a son named Malcolm. Malcolm studied at Princeton University, majoring in political science, and the Lawrenceville School, where now he has sections named after him in both. He wanted to stay longer to build his knowledge and experience at Princeton, but his efforts had to be scrapped at the start of America fighting in World War II. During World War II, Forbes enlisted for the U.S. Army, ranking up and up until becoming a heavy machine gunner. He got wounded while fighting in Germany in 1944 and spent the final months of the war in a hospital. When the war was over, he came back to a whole new life. Economy in America started to rise. Not that was much concern to the Forbes household, though. But then, in 1954, B.C. Forbes died, and he left the company to Malcolm, who became the publisher and editor-in-chief. Since then, Forbes magazine has grown from an average of 100,000 readers to an average reader count of 750,000, making Forbes magazine one of the most renowned magazines in America today. Malcolm isn't just known for his magazine, though. He's flown across the USA in a hot air balloon, breaking 6 ballooning records on just that trip. Later, he won an award for his efforts with ballooning called the Harmon Trophy. He was also very interested in motorcycling. He often spent time motorcycling with an actress named Elizabeth Taylor.
This is a ride for aid to muscular dystrophy, and Harley-Davidson is the principal backer of that. And this is the Eastern Rally we're going to have, right? Yes. In Pennsylvania.
He's also invested in National Heritage Magazine and Egg, a journal for art lovers. Malcolm seemed to have the Midas touch with making investments and profiting over $600 million. He also owned or collected many cool items or properties. He had a chateau in France, a mansion in London, an island in the South Seas, and a palace in Tangier, Morocco. He also owned collections of motorcycles, fabric imperial Easter eggs, and oriental paintings. In addition, he was very interested in politics. In 1951 through 1958, he ran as the Senator of New Jersey. In 1957, he tried to up his status by running for New Jersey governor. Malcom Forbes had many relationships with the big men in the White House. He and Vice President Hubert Humphrey, who was the guest honor, held the magazine's 50th anniversary in huge tents. He was friends and supported Dwight D. Eisenhower, who became the president of the USA and came to visit Malcolm many times. After his death, at his funeral, President George Bush stated him as a giant of American business.